I hope that woke everybody up right at the start of the stream. The YouTube will literally start right there. So hey YouTube as well. And good day all. My bird's in the background. I've had an extremely stressful day at work just because I had to get a whole bunch of stuff done. But all that has passed. And I wanted to play some Arcade and stream it at the same time. So this weekend is the free trial weekend. We'll probably have a whole bunch of people once again come to the game and ask questions in the new player chat and Discord and whatnot. So I'm kind of expecting to be answering a lot of questions, and again, I'll put myself out there to help answer questions and help people sort of learn the game and to kind of get a grasp of things, since Arcade tends to be pretty complex. And I haven't missed all the news, of course. I've heard over the last couple days as millions of voices have been screaming at the same time about all sorts of things. And I have, as usual, I have an extremely hyper-realistic attitude versus, all sorts of stuff. I've been in the gaming industry before for MMOs as all sorts of things. So I have a huge sense of all the things that are going on. I've been keeping track of it, of course, and my comments are in my Discord pretty much. But overall, I guess I'm not really surprised by anything, and it's all fine. It's just the community is going to be, pretty sad about them changing the way that they're doing the business model here, and that's normal. Not as happy about the fresh start because that's inevitably going to take away new player traffic from the current servers. That's inevitable. But we'll kind of have to see how that goes. I have a lot of comments in the Discord. I'm just mostly going to leave it there, and if we have to talk about it on stream, I will. If anybody asks, whatever. But for now, it's to me, it's not really a big deal. I don't think anything is really changing on Win. I doubt really things are changing too much on each of the servers. I do suspect that people will be going over to the new servers for at least 2 to 3 months just to mess around for a little while. That's pretty normal. Everybody does that, and then they go back to their regular servers. But I'm not, because I want to spend that entire time in the garden. I mean, I don't want to mess with that. I just want to take my new character, that I made less than a year ago now, and continue advancing it and exploring the garden and doing all that stuff. So that's kind of the plan for me during that release. Yeah, so that's so mostly I'm just here to do what I regularly do each day. Just chill. Maybe we'll do arenas and stuff, although I have a bunch of stuff I still need to catch up on anyways because I haven't had time. So I'm going to do that. I'm streaming right now to be able to answer questions for people as usual. And to kind of get the new player traffic and to help kind of steer people the correct way and give people sort of suggestions for gameplay that's more fun and hopefully get people to stress out a little bit less, because for some reason everybody's stressed out over a video game right now, and it shouldn't be that way. And hopefully we can kind of help reduce that stress a little bit just from people kind of relaxing and chilling and getting the questions they might have answered. Always gaming, you're liking the game, but gold making is super unclear to me. I had a good video about this, actually, a highlight at one point, and I don't know where that went. Obviously, I get that question a lot. How do you make gold in a sort of clear, defined way? I have a really great answer to that, but it's long and lengthy, and I've been trying to figure out a way to reduce the length of that answer in a very positive and useful way. So here's my attempt at that, and I might highlight this as well and put it on YouTube as a more up-to-date version of it. The best way I can sort of summarize how to make gold in general, or good ways. What the heck? A guild just changed their name to something really weird. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, not to interrupt that. Anyways, the question is, what are good ways to make gold, right? A lot of it has to do with just taking advantage of labor, obviously, right? Use the labor pool that you have in order to generate an income that is sufficient to your actual usage of gold, right? Say, you know, you need labor for not only yourself to upgrade your gear, but also to use the gold to upgrade your gear, right? So you have to use labor not only to upgrade the gear, but to make the gold for that too. And so people have, you know, 3 accounts on Unchained, for example, in order to get more labor to make gold with their alts. Now, I don't really do that. My alt doesn't do very much. I make taxes on it that are tradable. Over time, I ended up making those, you know, his proficiency went up, and those tradable taxes on my alt do sell for quite a bit. And it's good. But I only have 1 alt for that, and that's it. I don't like to deal with it. Most of my focus is on my main. Now, there are millions of ways to actually make gold. From anywhere from scouring the seafloor for treasure and selling it, or getting a trade pack accidentally you have to go turn in, to selling sheet music that you made yourself, which I know at least 2 people who do that on a regular daily basis. So there are millions of ways to make gold, right? And where to start is a tough one. So a lot of people start with their housing, right? And they'll use labor on various farming activities. And so that's one option, right? Or they'll use labor for trading, or they'll do a combination of both, farm the materials they need, so that now with that labor getting the materials they need for trade packs, they're not spending any gold in the process, right? They're spending labor, which is still a resource. So there's tons and tons of things you could do, but a lot of it usually stems out from going to the auction house and finding things that you can possibly take advantage of, or finding things that you could possibly sell or gain. So this is where my recommendations come in, is to at least start with the auction house, right? And I'm going to go into a couple more things here, but in general, the auction house is a good place to start because you can see not only what sells well and what sells for what amounts, you can see the actual volume of those things. So I'm going to take one really, really quickly that's very obvious, Starlight Arcane Crystal. And this is obvious because tons of people need hundreds of these. I need 200 right now for myself for a quest line. But it's also used in other accessories, it's used in the honor accessories, it's used in all sorts of things. But the reason I bring this up is because you could take a look at the pricing history of this and say, yeah, this sells pretty well, pretty often, at pretty good amounts. Alright, this is a nice way, but how do you earn this? So now you go maybe to the codex, or you go and ask people, or you figure out how do you earn this. And there's a number of ways, but the most common way is to go run this particular dungeon 5 times, just Howling Abyss, the regular one, kill the first boss, and you Evanstone the crystal. You Evanstone the stuff that you get from the first boss, and that will always give you at least 1 crystal each time, so you can get 5 crystals a day. You sell each of them for 30 gold, there's a tax involved, but you'll make like 150 gold, right? This is something anybody can do each day, and actually multiple times each day, because every 6 hours, the dungeon resets technically. If you try to go in a 6th time using one of these scrolls that you buy from this dude, from a general merchant, you could actually get in more times. However, there's a limit of 5 times every 6 hours, so people will go in there every 6 hours. They'll take 5 scrolls of these grinding scrolls, which are 10 gold each, and go earn themselves 30 gold, right? And so you kind of make money that way. So you can do that a lot, actually. And that's not a bad way to make money through dungeons. But the point is, it started from the auction house, or it could start from the auction house. So let's say you want to get into farming, you can start looking at things that sell, right? In general, you can start from the stuff that you can just get from the vendors for seeds, like corn, and say, wow, actually there's not that much corn on here. Maybe the prices fluctuate. Oh, they do. They fluctuate like crazy. From anywhere to selling up to 15 silver down to 6, it looks like, or at this point, maybe 4, right? But the point is, you can maybe get into corn and sell when the values are high, right? And this is pretty easy. It doesn't take any vocation. Oh, what's this? Cornflower. Cornflower also sells in pretty high volumes and also fluctuates quite a bit. But this is a vocation way to make money. But you can sometimes sell up to 75 silver per cornflower. So this is also a possibility, right? Or you can get into trade packs and you can start seeing the different ways to make money there. There are a million ways to make money, and you have to kind of gauge yourself what the best thing for you is. How do you want to play the game? How do you want to make money? And again, I said from all sorts of things. You can go exploring, getting treasure maps from ghost ships, and go and try to find those treasure map coordinates and dig those up. Some people do this. There are undersea sunken ships that you can dig up, sort of. through a huge labor-intensive process that you can kind of reduce through other means. And you grab packs from this ship using exploration proficiency, and you turn them in and hoping that nobody catches you along the way, and you make money that way. Lots of people do that one. There are just farming mobs and getting coin purses. That's what I do usually. Obviously, I have a lot of labor to spend that I haven't. But, you know, just farming coin purses is another way to make money, right? If you're okay with just grinding and I don't know, that's something that I enjoy doing. I have no problem with that. So, you know, I'll spend hours doing that and making gold just through coin purses. And so these are labor-using ways to make money. Now, you can get even further up, right? So, for example, you can... Here, that's actually exactly what I was about to go into, Always Gaming. You say you want to go into cooking and potions. I was just about to go into alchemy a little bit and say, you know what? There's a lot of things in this game that require crazy materials, and I'm going to give you an example of one. What is it called? Beautifully colored fabric. Alright, a lot of people need this stuff. But if you look at the auction house, it's actually up here. I'm kind of surprised. But it doesn't sell that much. This means that people are not usually buying beautifully colored fabric, and yet people need it for everything. So what's happening? They must be crafting it. Well, if they're crafting it by themselves, they might be actually just crafting this by themselves, but maybe going down this, you know, and buying these base materials. So you go a step lower and you say, okay, this requires just regular fabric, which you could grow and sell that, or it also requires small root pigment. Alright, let's see if that one sells. Okay, it's on here, and it doesn't really sell that well. Okay, so maybe this isn't the best, but you can maybe dabble a little bit into this, maybe try to sell 5 each day, because on average it looks to be something like that. Sometimes somebody's buying a whole ton of it, looks like, sometimes no. So maybe you can dabble into this market a little bit and get the materials you need to make small root pigment, and just make a few and try to sell them every so often. You know, so that's another thing people do. There's other sort of, this is just one example of a way that people can get in. Or, you know, there's tons of other types of materials that are slightly higher up that you can look at and see, do they sell? Can I more easily make them? What do I need to do to make them? And so on. So this is just other ways to get involved. Cooking and potions are a big one, right? People need, what are they called? Assorted ribs. And these are actually a little bit easier to get into, because once you have the proficiency, you only need to go up to specific housing to actually craft them more easily, and I'll actually go to one and show you right now. But people need assorted ribs because it's rank 4 meat, and there's actually higher ranks as well. And wow, this actually does sell pretty well, so this could be an actual way to get involved in cooking if you wanted to. But assorted ribs require 50,000 proficiency, and mutton, beef. I think beef requires vocation for the dairy cows and water buffalo, possibly the same for mutton. No, those are just sheep. And all these other things that you could collect and actually go into, but you see how this requires assorted sirloin to upgrade. That's not actually always the case, so I'm actually going to go to my recorded alchemy house and show you some other stuff with cooking and potions specifically that allow people to sell this stuff. Now, usually, these kind of vocation things people will do with their alts. So, because of that, the actual price and gold that you make out of it is going to be a little less. Because when people make stuff to sell with their alts, they don't usually care about the labor to gold return. So, you know, if you're going to get into this market with your main, you're going to have to expect to compete against other people who don't care as much about the gold return. So they might be pricing things a little bit less than you're, you know, happy with. So you might want to go actually into a different market. But this is an example of an upgraded house, an upgraded townhouse that has a manufacturer's workbench, and I forget what it's called. This is an apothecary's house. Now this has food and potions that you can craft. You can actually craft these without needing to upgrade anything, and they actually require some different materials. For example, those assorted ribs from earlier, this still requires a 50k proficiency. However, it makes 10 at a time, uses all these materials, which is a little bit different because it doesn't require the vocation stuff from before. And, you know, you can plant your own beehive if you wanted to, just to kind of make up for the fact here. And so you can make things a little bit cheaper this way. Plus, if you make things through this house, so you see here, Mossy Pool also doesn't require upgrading, but it's a little bit easier to craft. Not only that, but this has a chance to give you double the amount. I don't know what the percentage is, but when you craft it, there is some percentage, some low percentage, that when you craft this, these 10 potions, you actually get 20. So people use this as well to be able to make money off of it if you're doing it in a very efficient way. It's just an example. So in a sort of cooking and alchemy sense, there is a path to make some money that way. But my point is that there are really a million ways to make money, and you kind of have to find ways that are interesting to you. And a lot of them are not labor intensive either, just like I was talking about how how you can just run this dungeon 5 times and Evanstone some stuff. The Evanstoning requires 10 labor per Evanstone for each of the things that you get from this boss, but that's not really a big deal. So I'm actually going to do this right now because that's one of the things that I wanted to do while we still just chill and answer questions. But yeah, so hopefully there's a lot to it. Always gaming, and to anybody who has these questions, there's a ton of things to this, to gold making in general. There are people who risk actually their own money and kind of gamble a little bit with their money. What they do is they will flip auction houses, right? When you've gained a ton of gold, you could actually buy out an entire market and resell them at a higher value in hopes that the market goes up and you can sell everything that you bought lower for higher, right? It's tough to play that market because you have to also take into mind the taxes and how much you'd actually be losing to taxes, as well as other people getting involved in those markets, right? This is sometimes why some materials fluctuate so much in price. We just saw corn fluctuates like crazy, and it's usually very much because either it just gets bought out because somebody needs the corn, or it gets bought out because someone is going to resell all of that for twice the amount. It happens very, very often, and people do this all the time. So that's another way that people make money, and that one doesn't require labor, right? People are gambling essentially with their money in order to try to make more money. It's an extremely powerful way to make money if you get lucky, or if you sort of know the market very well, you can kind of understand it and be able to take advantage of it. But that's like any stock, right? So that's another way to make gold in this game. And like I said, there's millions just because of how in-depth you can go with gold making. Always Gaming, the one thing I don't understand, or you don't like about the game rather, is that it seems really reliant on alts at the end game. If you're trying to become the absolute most competitive person at the top of the list, sure, but because that's so stressful and annoying and those people end up quitting anyways, it's not really worth your time, I would say. Now, I would say that I'm fairly competitive. I've spent more gold on luxury things because I understand the gear curve. I understand that the equipment that I have at 12k gear score is pretty much exactly what I need, and I don't upgrade things without an actual purpose. And I would say that I'm an end game. They're saying they recommend 14k gear score to go into the garden. I have the stats that I need. Gear score doesn't matter to me. The stats that I need are perfect. I should be okay, especially with a group of people. So I wouldn't say that it relies on alts. I think that alts are definitely a nice way to make up for, having like less time. Maybe you can just use your alt and make something really quickly and then go back to your main. But here's the other deal. Because so many people don't care about the labor to silver, the labor to gold ratio on their alts, like they'll use 5,000 labor, their entire labor pool on their alts, and make only like 10 gold, right? Because they're okay with it. Maybe they're just getting proficiencies up. But it's a bad example. But my point is, people value it less, right? Because of that, you can still make up for that in other ways with your main. So example, I have one other account. I use it for tax certs. It took a long time to be able to even make tradable tax certs, so that was a huge investment in itself. And now it just slowly makes money over time, which is fine. The bigger deal in all of this is that I make more money on my main. In fact, I make so much money on my main because I have other ways to make money that I'm happy with. The big one is I do actually do auction house flipping. That's something that, after 6 years in playing this game, I can kind of understand the auction house. And a lot of my income comes from auction house flipping. Now, I haven't done that in a little while. I've been using more gold than I've been gaining. I've been very, very busy. But that's something that I do. And so because I make more gold with my main than I could ever with any amount of alts, I'm okay, and I can stay up competitively, so to speak. Because, competitive, I don't know, people wouldn't think 12k gear score is competitive, but I can I can fight against the top people and understand the gameplay enough to be able to sort of work with it, right? Plus, I do things like this dungeon, you know, 5 times a day, go there, kill this thing really quickly, Evanstone this piece, and get a Starlight Crystal that I can then sell for 30 gold if I wanted to, but I have to save some up. So, anyways, my point is that usually on their main account, you're going to want the highest value of using your labor anyways, and because of that, if you have one account, you're going to be okay. Like, it's fine, it's just, if people are rushing and stressing about trying to stay at the very top, yeah, it's going to suck, absolutely. But if you're just playing the game to enjoy the game and because you want to play an MMO for an extended period of time like they're designed to be for, you're going to be fine. And you're going to have fun with your friends, and you're going to be able to do dungeons or do PvP with your friends and with your guild and with your faction, and you'll enjoy it and it'll be fine. But when people stress out so much about stuff, then it's not as fun in general. And a lot of people like the competitive stress, and that's what they do for fun, and I totally get that. But I don't recommend that route just straight up, especially if you're still kind of learning the game. But yeah, I'm not mad you're saying you need at least one extra account. It's nice to have an extra account at least, right? Because that extra account also gains diligence coins from Arc Pass stuff. At least you get another pool of diligence that you can spend, and it definitely helps to have that. But it is stressful to also go and manage multiple accounts. So I don't recommend that if you don't want to. But yeah, I made one extra one. I hate dealing with alts. It actually, that's right, Cody, it makes me feel really, really bad to have to deal with alts. It is so not fun for me to spend any time on a character that isn't this one, even if I'm making gold for this one. But I got one at least because I like the extra diligence gain, and I don't really think about it very much. You know, I don't do very much on it. It just makes taxes, does what it can for the Arc Pass, and then I log off, right? 5 minutes, literally. I don't spend as much time as other people tend to. But yeah, I'm not mad you're saying you're a pirate. You're making a lot of gold fishing on your main and taxing on the alts. Taxes on the alts. Yeah, fishing is a good way to do it, too. I didn't even mention that. I'd say that there are better ways for ocean content to make money, such as Onyx runs or trade runs. But yeah, dude, fishing is a really chill way to play the game, and you can do it with friends and have fun, and, you know, and it's perfectly good. In fact, it's something that I always wanted to get into more, but I don't have a fishing boat, and even on my legacy character, it's just not something that I ever got into. But it's absolutely a good way to make money. And you'd stay competitive just fine. Oh, as a pirate, it's easy to fish. That's also a fair point. Pirates do have very close by nodes to sort of fish at, and, you know, close to Pirate Island, close to Growlgate. Yeah, so always gonna be saying you're only gonna have one account, just since your gold gain is non-existent. Open world PvP sucks, lol. Yeah, I totally get that, and I think people don't value enough that there's still a lot you could do in open world PvP, even if you don't have the gear at all. And I talk about this a lot, I know, but that's only because I've been playing this stuff recently, and it's been extremely fun. So I've been playing backline support builds, not healer, not tank for frontline support, backline support. It's essentially tank builds from the backlines where you don't die as much, number one, and number two, you can actually do some pretty crazy things to not only keep yourself alive, but to keep everybody alive around you, while also crowd controlling people. So I'd recommend trying out different backline support builds, like Dreambreaker is one, which is Aromancy, Witchcraft, and Defense. Here's mine, Eidolon, which is Aromancy, Witchcraft, and Shadowplay. And I play these extremely defensively from the backlines with ranged abilities to just be able to stop things and cause problems for the enemies, all from the backlines where I'm perfectly safe, using things like Mirror Warp to stay out of enemy targeting. And it's a great way for newer players to also learn the game and to understand the game mechanics and to understand what to do and when. So, you know, considering, like, Revenant is another good one. I wanted to go on and then I just trailed off again. But anyways, so there's a ton of different backline support classes you can play, not for damage, but for just support. And these kind of classes really do make or break and make a huge difference in combat that people kind of undervalue. And because of that, it kind of sucks to have to level up and get gear and not be able to actually do anything in open world PvP, when in reality, level up some other skill sets and do it. Just start getting involved in PvP in a really fun and interesting way that helps a ton of people. So Or, yeah, exactly. There's not enough, really, song bots, right? Or it's too easy to also shut down song bots because of how powerful stillness is, for example. But anyways, yeah, there's tons and tons of things you could do from the backlines that you can see true value when your team is able to survive longer in fights, when your team is able to take advantage of crowd control effects during a fight that you put out there, right? And there's even other items in the game, too, that help this thing, to help you play these builds. For example, from the library, I use something called a Disciple's Staff. This is a staff that I equip when I'm in this build, and what it does is, I have it on a quick bar here, and my hotkeys, it petrifies anybody that you're looking at that's also looking at you. So if I turn around and then, if I turn around and there was somebody back there, they would actually lose that petrify, and then I turn back and I get some other people because that person now has immunity to petrify. So I usually, in combat, I'll use that and just like start moving back and forth to catch different people. That just stops people outright. And while it does make them immune to damage, that's not true. It makes them take 75% less damage while they're petrified. I can use this really, really well in combat to be able to stop people from doing something and get our group to get in position to be able to kill them when I de-petrify them by my choice, right? They don't get to choose unless they use Defiance, which is even better, because if I can pop somebody's Defiance early, that's awesome. They don't get to use that later in a fight. So there's a million things I could do with this staff alone, and how much fun this is to actually use. I use it extremely, extremely powerfully as a sort of backline support build. So there are things you could do. Like there's tons of ways you can play the game and have fun. And yeah, it might not be a DPS, it might not be a healer, it might not be what you're trying to go for to start, but that doesn't mean you can't contribute and learn the game at the same time, while also working on your actual gear in the background. There's nothing stopping people from that. And I fully encourage you, to explore other options too that are just different ways to play. It's a long-winded answer again. Hold on, I'm gonna get water and then I'll continue. What do I think about Fresh Start? I've played the game since launch. Since a month after initial launch back in 2014, and so I've seen all the fresh starts. I've been there for everything. I haven't taken too many breaks. I do occasionally, absolutely, because I don't want to burn out, but I've seen how it goes. I don't like fresh starts, of course, because it takes away the newer population from going to the servers that already exist. Of course, right? New players are going to go to a fresh start. Why would they go to a server that already exists? So I don't like them. But the community begs for them. The community begs everywhere they can, anywhere they can, anytime they can. I see it all the time on the Facebook posts. I see it all the time on Twitter responses, like Twitter comments to things that Game Ago puts out or try and put out before. I see it all the time. When's the next fresh start? When's the next fresh start? Tons and tons and tons of people beg for it nonstop. And unfortunately, it's because these people don't understand there are so many catch-up mechanics in the game. They could just start right now, and instead of not playing the game for 6 months waiting for a fresh start, they would be totally caught up if they just took 2 to 3 months and tried. But they don't understand this, and that's fine, I get it. It's not a mentality that's common, right? Now, that said, because of all this begging, it has to happen. It's unfortunate, and I'm sad. I thought we kind of got past this already, but Excel just put out a fresh start, so I'm not really surprised to see us put out a fresh start, right? With essentially, our region putting out a fresh start. So they did it. And again, I don't like it, but people beg for it, so I'm not really surprised. It does hurt the current servers. A lot of people use it as a way to get back in the game for just a couple of months. Sorry, I'm gonna cough here. Anyways, a lot of people use it as a way to get back into the game just for a couple months, just because they want to just experience the start, for again. So their whole purpose is to go to the game for 2 to 3 months, play the beginning, and then quit after, because they want to go back to their other characters on previous servers. Tons of people do that. Other people who felt like they missed out on other servers, or they lost on other servers for some reason, which, by the way, you can never lose on a server. Whoever says that is a ridiculous person, because there's no such thing as losing in an MMO that you're supposed to play for years, right? It's not how that works. But because people do feel like they quote won or quote lost a server, the winners end up quitting anyways because they're bored. The losers end up just quitting earlier and waiting for fresh starts, right? So those fresh start servers usually ends up being people who left other servers earlier because they feel like they quote lost, and they restart on a fresh start to see if they can win. And those people, unfortunately, tend to just quit again after 2 to 3 months after the winners, quote, winners and losers on that server have been identified. Because fresh start servers are so prone to this, what ends up usually happening is people will go to the servers and then it will become empty after 2 to 3 months because the winners are identified, losers are gone, and it sometimes becomes even worse than the regular servers beforehand, because those earlier servers, like the ones that are out right now, people come back to them after the first 2 to 3 months of a fresh start. However, there is a much worse case scenario that usually happens with fresh starts. This is the absolute worst thing. It happens almost every single time. In fact, I think it's happened every single time, period. They say they're going to put out one server per region, but the hype, there's not real hype to it this time, but there's so much hype to it that the servers become full to capacity with crazy queues that they have to open a second server last second. This has happened twice before already, and what ends up happening is now there's a second fresh start server, possibly per region, that the community of fresh start people is now split between. This causes both servers to be significantly less interesting, and you know, less conflict stuff, and I don't know, it causes both servers to be much less populated in general because of the split between the two. Usually it's already one-sided the moment this happens. One server, like all the east people go to, the other server was mostly west, or something like that. And what ends up happening even worse is because the community is split between these two new servers, and with everything else happening of people leaving after 2 to 3 months, especially after the winners and losers are, quote, identified, whatever that means, you know, both of these servers end up even worse than they could have possibly been if there was just one. And obviously the most recent time we saw this was with the legacy fresh starts, you know, a couple of years ago, when this exact situation happened, you know, a couple of years ago. It was the last time it happened, and they opened a server last minute. The community was crazy split between the two, and then both servers just ended up really, really not being populated, which is unfortunate, right? Or being one-sided extremely early is really what was more common to this. So, this is the unfortunate truth to fresh starts. But it happens because, I mean, it's true. Unfortunately, people yell... Yep, that's right, Cody. Unfortunately, people yell about this stuff like crazy. They beg for fresh starts because people like the first 2 to 3 months, or because they think like next time they're going to become the winners, when it's not always the case, and it's usually up to RNG. But the problem is people go into these servers without the mentality of, I'm going to play this game for a year, which is the whole point of MMOs. You're supposed to go into MMOs for a very, very long time. You're not supposed to, quote, win or lose. That's not how MMOs work. Nobody wins and loses in this game. It's an MMO. It's a social experience. And so, you know, the only losers that are in an MMO are the people who don't actually last a whole year. Whether it's because they lost and they quit, or they feel like they lost and they quit, or because they feel like they won and they quit because they're bored. But all of that group is technically a loser if, A, you're not having fun anymore. And I've always had fun in the last 7 years, even if, 6 years, even though I'm just playing myself. You know, I'm a solo player. I've always had fun. That's why I play. Plus, I like helping people. And then number 2 is that Cody's having a great time in the background. What was my second point? My point essentially is that these servers they exist because people ask for them, and that's just how it is. It does give people more room to play the game, which is really good. And the other thing that's also not too bad is that Excel has kind of identified the problem of servers. And maybe I'll just turn on crisp here so you guys can't hear Cody in the background as much. Let me do that. My voice will be a lot lower quality though. But he's clearly talking to the birds outside, so I'll, there we go. Alright, this should be better. So let me finish this thought and then I'll read chat, but what was I going to say? Yeah, so gosh, there's like one last point I was going to make. So Excel's kind of identified the problem, right? The problem is servers in general. People want to wait for the fresh starts and stuff. And so we've started seeing a huge push, a much more positive push than I had thought there would be. Because I didn't originally like instances, right? I didn't like originally how Halcyon is instanced. I didn't like originally how much of a push towards instances there were in this game. However, it's actually made the game extremely lively. People do it with dungeons really efficiently. People do it with Halcyon really efficiently. Halcyon's actually a lot better now in general than it could have ever been. It's actually a fun fight. And yeah, sometimes it's unbalanced. In fact, a lot of the time it tends to be still. But the point is that it is a better system overall, and them pushing the garden into cross-server as well in a very intricate cross-server way, where sometimes, you know, the people who enter a specific garden server are going to be not only from different servers, but from different factions specifically, put up against each other at random, or however there's a system for it that exists. This is really cool because it doesn't matter what server you pick. You'll still have fun and interesting content. You'll still be able to make friends. You'll still be able to progress and be fine. The main difference is, quote, land, right? The land is going to be different on different servers, the amount of free land, and the prices and everything. And number two is the world boss situation, and also, technically number three, the trade situation, right? What's the situation with trade on the server? So those are the main differences that encompasses servers in general, and but it doesn't mean that you'll ever make a wrong decision with a server, because you'll still have enough content and stuff to do, which is really cool. And I like that they're pushing it. I hope they don't go super crazy with the world boss stuff. Like they did Kadum, right? Kadum is now cross server, but if they make Black Dragon cross server, that will be strange, but maybe interesting. I don't know, right? The Garden kind of is starting with it. The Garden is the first place we'll see world bosses on a cross server instance, and that'll be kind of interesting to see how the community plays with that. I think those are the answers that I have to that question. Kind of a long-winded answer again, but most of the answers that I have are long-winded, so hopefully that was somewhat entertaining. I'm Not Mad says, I think they should do fresh starts like the like new leagues in Path of Exile after 3 to 4 months to join a standard server. They tried that actually with the Korean version, and it seems like they've never done it again. So maybe it wasn't what they expected. Maybe it wasn't as good. Maybe people were abusing it like crazy. I like that generally, but something seems wrong with it. Something seems like it didn't work out if Excel tried it and it just didn't work. They had essentially progression servers. Servers with the ability to transfer out of after X period of time, and they had some additional boosts to like XP gain or other things. And so they tried it, and it didn't really go to any other regions, and they haven't done one since. So, but they tried, which is cool. But there must be something that I don't value there, that I haven't thought of myself, so I doubt that we'll ever get that. Always Gaming says, fresh starts are always 50-50 to you, because since there's a bigger presence in open world PvP. You can understand players wanting to get a server where everybody starts out the same playing field. You can say from experience a lot of higher players will pretty much prey on newer players. Absolutely. And that is why people sort of go to these servers, because it's fun for a little while. But eventually the same situation will occur. There are people who are just better at making gold. They don't necessarily have to be buying gold to be better at making gold. Like, I mean, I'll outright say, I know how to use the auction house to make money. I understand how to use the auction house and the in-game means in order to make gold. And I do this because not only is it fun for me and it's an interesting gamble, but because I understand that it's a proper and like it's a proper crazy way to make money if you get lucky with it. For example, somebody went here. I'll give you a good example. I didn't do this. I didn't get into this market, but these gliders from the very there's none on there. Okay. These gliders from the very first Arc Pass, the Gargoyle Guardian Wings, they were tradable. And everyone had one because everybody got it for free from the Arc Pass. So they actually went down in price back then to like 20 gold. You could see like 100 of these on the auction house for 20 gold because nobody was buying them. But everybody wanted to just get rid of them for some reason. I saved mine because I understand that what happens is somebody goes, buys out every single one for 20 gold, which back then 20 gold meant a little more than it did right now, right? But back then, someone went, bought out every single one. They have 100 of them in stock, and now the price of them is 400 gold, at least. They don't sell very often, right? But there's no other way to get this glider, or this Magithropter, I should say. So there are people who are making bank off of this. And again, maybe not making bank. It's not like they sold all 100 in one day for 400 gold. But they'll do it over the course of several months, or maybe a year. They'll sell all of them off, and it's a way for them to make an income, right? So that's just one way that people sort of take advantage of the auction house. Matt says you're going to play on Fresh Start because you're bored of your healer. You're playing healers every fresh start, so you want to try something else. Yeah, see, that's not a bad point. You have a kind of a fresh slate to try out a whole new class and gameplay style. You can always go and take that gameplay style back to your main if you wanted to, or if things become too boring. Especially because of these things, the, what are they called? Conversion. Especially because of these armor conversion scrolls. Technically, you can go and change this. There's more and other types of conversion scrolls coming to the game eventually, too, that allow people to just sort of, for a cost, change their build. It's a pretty big cost, sure, but the fact is this stuff exists, and we'll probably get more of it over time as well, because right now the prices are quite a bit. I'm sure that will get toned down eventually. But XL has realized that people, want more options to play the game, or want to, especially with all the changes and the mechanic changes that XL tends to do, and, like I say, pulling the rug out from everybody all the time with mechanics. Them adding in different conversions for weapons and armor does make sense, because it does help out the community, make decisions based off of the random decisions that XL seems to be making, or all the different gameplay changes that happen over time. Any other questions? Alright, I did my 5 runs. Going back to Miriam. Actually, no, what else do I need to do? There's a bunch of stuff that I've already forgotten to do. I can't think of it. I guess I could do some greater dungeons, because I want to get sunlight crystals. Oh, I need to do the Hereafter Rebellion, because I really don't want to right now. Instances were down before. I need to do Hereafter Rebellion, because I need 6 more of these stolen Ionot animas. I really don't want to do that right now, so I don't think I'm going to. So I just don't want to, because I don't care. Do what I want. I do need to do Seer of Drowned Love, because that's also a pretty good way to make money off of a dungeon. I don't know if I'll be able to get a group for it, though. I'll try it. I'll kind of look out for this. The chilled essence that you get from Sea of Drowned Love. This dungeon, you could do the dungeon 3 times in like 5 minutes. It's extremely fast. And if you get lucky with the chilled sea foam, you can make 170-ish gold from that. So it's not a bad way to make money. Again, from dungeons that are cross-server, there are ways to make money, right? There's no labor involved in this one. It's just hoping that you don't get kicked. Which, by the way, I still hate the kick mechanic. I wish they got rid of it or changed it significantly. People don't use it in the way that it was originally intended, as you would assume with anything that comes to an NAEU population. It's people use it to kick people they don't like, which is stupid, right? It was originally because everybody didn't like AFKs, and people don't even use it now to get rid of AFKs very often. It's not like somebody is sitting back in Halsey at the start zone, kicking every single person they see as AFK, and hoping that everybody says yes to each and every one. Nobody does that because A, you're AFK yourself then, pretty much, because you're not actually contributing to Halsey, and B, people would just rather be fighting, right? So that mechanic is just flawed in general. But it exists, and it's unfortunate that people use it in bad ways. They use it in good ways, too, for sure. But it's unfortunate there are sometimes kick wars that are associated with it. Any suggestions what class to play? You never played anything but a healer. I don't know. Well, I mean, it sounds like you already have your mind made up, and I only say that because if you've played healer every fresh start, in other words, if you've played healer several times before, I think you know what you want to play. I think that you know the game enough that you are interested in something. And I bet you can tell me that right now what that is. I bet you can just be like, yep, it's this. You're right. I don't think I need to even give you any suggestions. I think you may already know. Because I know that's how I am. If I had to choose again, I would probably be playing a mage. But like actually a close range mage is what I would be doing. Because I enjoy that playstyle of being very close to my opponent, so I would definitely be mixing in Witchcraft with whatever build I do. It would probably be Witchcraft, Occultism, Malediction, which I believe is Witch Doctor, and kind of an awesome name. This is probably what would be my build right now, with Malediction, with Occultism and Witchcraft, and Malediction is the main DPS tree. I think that's what I would do, personally. I know, I'm never going to play this class. I might with my alt, but I just don't want to. But I like that would be the class that I would play. Aha, you want to play mage. All right, so there's a lot of options there to play mage, right? You know the gear that you want. You understand what you're trying to get. Eventually, there are benefits to getting and using a staff, so you may want to consider a staff early. But people will laugh at you and say, oh, you don't do very much more damage. But you will do it quicker because of the two-handed boosts that you get from the two-handed buffs. So you'll have a reduced cast time, which is pretty good, especially with the additional range from magic and healing skills. So there's quite a good value for going two-handed still, but this gets buffed like crazy later on too. So you may want to go that route. But you know, if you are going mage, you kind of already know the stats you're looking for, the kind of builds you want to play. Keep yourself flexible to multiple different kinds of builds and play styles. You know, if you want to play a defensive frontline mage, okay, maybe you're not going to go two-handed. Maybe you will go a scepter and a shield, right? But if you want to play an offensive backline mage, then you know you can go with maybe a staff and you know, maybe not put in witchcraft, but maybe put in something else like sorcery that are, you know, a little bit farther away and using the two-handed skill range increase effectively from the back lines quite well. Just different suggestions of ways you could play. You're thinking about... Oh, also, hey McFluffy. It's going well. I'm talking constantly, so it must be good, right? Things are well, even with all the craziness going on in the community right now. But yeah, you're thinking about cast Spellsinger. So cast time Spellsinger, pretty much, or a Spellsinger who takes advantage of using high cast abilities, most likely, like Arc Lightning. So there's a lot of combos to do with that, I'm sure. And that's totally, yeah, it's a great way to start the game. You can use Songcraft to help out your early game progression quite a bit in very, very positive ways. And it should be really fun, right? There's a ton of practice to it, but if you already play healing classes, then you probably already have dabbled in with Songcraft anyways, and you kind of already understand the Songcraft gameplay style. And if you enjoy that, then you can go and turn that into a wizard build of some sort pretty effectively, I think, in a very fun way that is still interesting to you. That sounds like a pretty good route, and it sounds like you may already have that in mind, given that that was the first thing you said. See, people know more about themselves than they take. I think you know more about what you're looking for than you lead on, which is good, and it's awesome. And I hope that that sort of gameplay style is fun for you. And if you do like it, and you do end up not liking the fresh start environment, and you go back to your main character, leave those options open, or start working on a second set. It's not super crazy to go and work on a second set anymore, especially once the garden comes out. Hopefully, it'll be significantly faster. Also, I heard that the flowers are tradable from the garden, as well as the fish, which could be a really good way to make money, especially in the early game, number one. And number two, it means the only thing that is technically, quote, locked by the DLC is Tier 5 Haram, I think. But even that might be different for our version. So you can still get Tier 3 Abyssal, you can still get Tier 3 Aranor, you should still be able to get Tier 3 Cloak, the Aranor Cloak. So the only thing that you might not be able to tier up because you don't have the DLC is Haram, which, again, that might be different. We'll have to see. And all this stuff could be different in our version, period. We'll have to see how it actually is. But actually, those are really good ways to make money, so it's something to consider once the garden comes out. Go farm up some flowers and sell them on the auction house, if that is available to us. Alright. Any other questions? I'm not stopping the stream anytime soon, but I think we've already gone through some pretty good topics, just straight off the bat. I don't know if I can make highlights for them because some of these conversations are like 20 minutes long. Do you guys think that the things I talked about today would be worth being on YouTube as separate videos to help sort of answer people with the same questions? I might do it just because it doesn't hurt, right? And I don't really care about the YouTube channel too much. I barely care about the Twitch channel, but it might be a good way to get information out there in a more positive way. I'll have to look back and see if it's worth doing that. It doesn't hurt to just make a highlight of specific parts. The whole stream itself goes up on YouTube, but nobody usually watches that unless they're just looking for something to have in the background. But if people are looking for specific answers to questions, then, or specific questions, or if they have specific questions or looking for answers, then YouTube is still a good way to do that. I'm thinking about it. I'll have to look back in the video and see what I end up doing. Alright, maybe we'll just farm a little bit, because I do need coin purses to sort of whittle down my labor. Oh, actually. I kind of want to get synthesis stones, so maybe I'll just farm Calmlands a bit. It's slow, it doesn't really give me too many coin purses, but I do want the synthesis stones, at least to start stocking up. Yeah, with the new cloak system, where you essentially awaken even up to Aranor, and then Aranor tier 2, I think that's possibly worth my time. So let me go over to Calmlands. Do I have all my DPS stuff on? Oh, by the way, I did get my 100 trials. Yesterday was insane. Yesterday was absolutely insane. I probably got 25 trials in. Because everybody was DCing. And there were 2 people who were just constantly going back into jail and trying to escape jail to get innocent over and over and over and over and over again. And I got so... I actually got scared. I thought maybe this was against the game rules or something, that it just kept putting me back into jury. But I got the all clear that it was fine. So I got my 100 trials. Right, I didn't get very much honor out of it because I'm not in I'm not in a tier 5 guild, I think it is, that gives you 250 honor per jury. Or maybe it's just 50, I don't know, I don't remember. So all that I really got out of it anyways was my jury costume, which is great, because I've already imaged it on my pants and my boots, and now I have the same old look that I had back on my legacy character, which I'm very happy about. And I still have the cloak as well, the jury cloak, that I keep in my warehouse, and I just use it on silly memes, you know, whenever I need to make a meme. I'll put on my jury cloak, and then I'll run into jury or something, and I'll be the juror. But anyways, I'm pretty happy about that. One of my goals is complete. But yeah, seriously, like 25, just because everybody kept DCing yesterday. I feel like it was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Over and over and over again, the same people would go. The same people would see me in my costume and know that it's me, obviously. I think I'm the only person on West with this look anyways. And I'd give him guilty every single time, you know? Gosh, it was just ridiculous. What a day. Very funny though. People had a lot of fun with it too. A player named Etox was playing music there. We're all just having a good time. Oh, why am I not using my pet? My penguin is so ridiculous for damage. This thing does more damage to me, or than me in some cases. Here, I'll show off how crazy the penguin can get. And it's a good thing he actually just used all his abilities, because now I'll show you more natural what he's normally doing for damage, without his like super burst mode. Oh, that's right. This guy has to run away. He's got a charge ability. Alright, kill him. You can do it. Come on, show off your power. Don't be lazy. There you go. There's a hit. Oh, that was a crit too, I think. Wait, does that always crit? No, it doesn't always crit. There he goes. He's doing his damage. Alright, normally it's pretty good damage, right? He's not showing it off really well right here, but these are also pretty high level mobs. But yeah, he's pretty good, alright? Just say that. Also, I've noticed he barely runs out of mana, which is interesting. Because I thought that by autoing all of the skills, he would run out of mana very quickly, but this particular pet doesn't seem to. So I guess his skills just don't use up that much mana, or his regen is very high. I guess it would be because of the tier 2 armor giving slightly more mana regen in combat, right? 22 from here. Mana regen up to 53. Who's that guy? Who's over there? It's just a person. He didn't loot that thing, though. No! Oh, I got it. What did I get? A coin purse. Okay. It's just about to disappear. Anyway, so with the free trial out right now, I do expect a lot of new players to come in and ask questions and such. Again, I'm streaming right now mostly because I do want to help answer those questions and help out new players. So if you are a new player, returning player to the game, you're trying to find out more information about Arcade, or maybe you're just wondering what all the crazy fuss is about right now and you want my opinion. I've already given out my opinion before many times, but and I put out blobs in the Arcade Research and Development Discord that I host, which is down below. But you know, feel free to ask any questions you guys have, and try to help out. Arcade in general is a pretty complicated game, so don't be afraid to ask, you know, anything. Don't be afraid to ask anything. Am I going to Fresh Start? I am not. I'm not going to Fresh Start. I'll be spending the 2 months of time that everybody would be normally in Fresh Start for, you know, playing because they just want to be there for the beginning. I will be on the garden the whole time, and hanging out with people on other servers that I can now interact with because of the stream as well, which is kind of nice. Plus, I don't want to have to deal with a land rush again. Oh my god, I hate land rush every single time. Stresses me out. It's not fun for me. Don't want to do a land rush. I know that eventually, if they go and merge servers, I'm gonna have to do a land rush again. I get it. I know it's gonna happen, right? I feel like they would do server transfers before any merges, but I know eventually I'm gonna have to do it. I don't want to put myself in that situation again, because I hate it. I just do not like it, right? But yeah, I don't have any plans to. Plus, I don't know, I've played the game since initial launch. I've been there for so much. I know how these fresh starts go. I'm not super interested in all of that. I like my character. I want to continue progressing my character. I play this game solo anyways, and you know, have friends in every faction and talk to people and help people out very often. Not because of any guild thing, but just because of friends. So I'm pretty happy with my gameplay. I don't want to have to go to fresh start right now. You've done every fresh start except Nui. You can't help it. I think you're okay with the Nui one, right? Without doing the Nui one, because I think that was one of the ones that just went south really, really crazy because of a second fresh start starting as well. But I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on the naming. You can't help it, though. I get it. No, there's definitely... I totally understand the rush to... just the initial rush, right? But, you know... There was actually another streamer who had said this, and I can't even tell you their name because I forgot, because I don't really watch them that often. But they had a good quote, that Arcade is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's true, I play Arcade like a marathon. I do not play Arcade like a sprint. I enjoy the sprint, I do enjoy fresh starts, I do enjoy the rush at the start. And I absolutely understand why other people do, totally. I don't want to get anywhere near that this time. Maybe it's because I'm older, I don't know. But I don't want to say that, because then that makes me feel old. So I'm not going to say that. Pretend I didn't say that. It's actually neat to buy the gold pack to get access to Fresh Start. You have 3 accounts. Yes, it's true, yeah. I mean, it's still better than paying monthly for all sorts of things. I mean, okay. I get that I'm kind of erring on the side of Gamigo with this one, but can I just say that I am, like... I get this, alright, they put out Unchained, they said, you only have to pay once. They really wanted to make a game that all of us have been begging for, right? We've all begged for something without a pay-to-win cash shop, and they actually fucking did it. They actually did it! Okay, and there were some broken things. Okay, but they did it, okay? There was their goal, alright? And then it turns out, well, it doesn't make that much money, right? But at least they tried, okay? Other games don't do that. Or they did because of Arcade Unchained, right? But other games generally don't do that. And for Tryon/Game to go and actually try, I mean, I have to commend that. You have to, because this game was not meant for that period. And then it changed the world of Arcade, right? Like, now they're doing that in Korea as well, and they're doing it in Russia, but Russia's is different. They still kind of have a pay-to-win thing, and I don't really know what Korea's is, but at least they did it in NA/EU, okay? I have to commend them for that. So all of this is still better than having to pay monthly, every month, for premium, and, you know, the rewards you get from premium. I'm still way happier that I can go and take a break from this game for a year if I want to, and not have to pay for premium to keep my houses up that whole time. I can instead just log in every 5 weeks, pay for my houses, play it however much I want during that time, you know, take little breaks. I could do whatever I want. It's not stressful. I don't have to keep my premium up all the time. That's the greatest part about all of this. So, I mean, to me, it's better than anything else that could possibly exist. Anyways, have they said whether Fresh Start will share gardens with other Unchained servers? I don't know. I don't think they've said anything about it. I have been looking for that answer specifically. They will probably share... So, anybody who... By the way, this is true. I've talked about it a lot in the Discord, the Research and Development Discord. This isn't like the previous Fresh Start. Okay, the previous time they did Fresh Start, they required new accounts, and that was because of the labor pool thing. They're not doing it this time. I'm a little bit scared that we're already going to start seeing all sorts of things from the community about this Fresh Start made it so the people who already played, who had 5k flavor, benefited faster, or people who had diligence. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. My point is that there's going to be issues with this Fresh Start, okay? So just expect that, okay? I don't know what else to say. If they do share the same instance servers... Hey, Nudge. If they do share the same instance servers, like Garden, like Red Dragon, like Halsey, oh man, holy crap. Is it going to feel bad to be on a Fresh Start server? Because you can expect that those servers are probably going to go and get kicked very, very often from things like Red Dragon, which I do not like. Again, I hate the kicking mechanic. I absolutely dislike the way the players abuse it, but it's probably going to happen. So I hope the Fresh Start players are all sort of queuing together and trying to not get kicked that way by queuing with each other. But it's going to suck for the people on the current servers to also have to deal with it, because it's true. Red Dragon is going to be significantly harder, for people like me, if I'm stuck with a whole bunch of people who are much lower gear score. I think that's pretty fair to say. But the community is going to be very rude about it, and that's just that. That's just how it's going to be. So expect a lot of problems with Fresh Start, okay? It's not going to be perfect. Don't go into this thing thinking it's going to be perfectly wonderful just because of the Arc Pass thing being solved. Trust me, there's gonna be other stuff, alright? I can already see so many over the horizon. There's probably a lot more we haven't thought of yet. For example, one of the biggest ones that somebody pointed out today is, they're probably not going to make a third build just for this Fresh Start, okay? Which means that it's going to share the Arc Pass. And if it shares the Arc Pass that we currently have right now, there should be enough time for everybody who's currently on the Fresh Start, like whenever the Fresh Start comes out, who's ever there on day one, will very likely be able to earn the underwear and the actual way to progress the underwear a little bit, right? Where is it? Where's the underwear? It's this one. People are going to have this, okay? And anybody who starts week 3 might already have missed their chance to earn this underwear and is already going to feel significantly behind, and then those people just quit, right? Like, that's another thing that's going to possibly happen on Fresh Start, because I don't see any way that they're going to avoid this. Gamigo doesn't have the control to turn off the Arc Pass for one server, and even if they did, like they did before, the last time they had to, it's because, like, all that XL did was turn off the UI, and people still got around that. People still found ways to hack it and actually turn on the UI for the Arc Pass and do that stuff. Although they probably got banned for it, because to be fair, that would be very, very easy to catch. But my point is that nothing's going to be perfect here, and don't expect things to be perfect. That's it, okay? I don't think they can fix it. I think that this is just happening because people demanded it, alright? Alright, that's people were demanding a fresh start instead of just working on characters and catching up because there's so many catch-up mechanics, even more with Garden, and yet people just want a fresh start server anyways, alright? So it happens, alright? It's not going to be perfect. Just saying. Do we have a date for the fresh start? No, I don't think so. I know, I've had so many rants about this on Discord too, alright? I've talked about a lot of this stuff. Please don't be surprised about issues, okay? Because the last thing I want to see is more yelling, alright? Generally, everybody in this game who you see and talk to on a daily basis, they really care about it, whether they're toxic or not. Everybody cares about this game, because we all want to see this game succeed. This absolutely includes the CMs, this includes the CAs, the volunteers. I have to mention them too. This includes all of the people who are actually working on like the database stuff. I'm sure Tinin is still working. Big Data Dude is still working. All of these people actually play the game actively. All the CMs do. Everybody really cares. Alright, but there are still people that are going to be making decisions at the very, very top that there's just no control over. And so things aren't going to be as perfect as they could be. And it sucks, because we all want to see a really perfect game, the team included. But it's not going to be as perfect as we wish, which is really unfortunate. But that's just how it feels like it is. And there's not much getting around that. So just don't be disappointed, guys. Don't go to the forums. Don't go like yelling constantly. If you're going to say some kind of criticism, make it constructive. That's what I've done over all the years, and I've had so many things that I have brought up actually taken very, very seriously and changed for the better. So I know that it works, right? Just quit yelling, people. It doesn't do anything. We all want to see the game better anyways, I swear. Any other questions? Anything else from you guys? Again, I'm streaming to help answer questions and to help out newer players, especially about any sort of arcade-related topics, so please feel free to ask. But I know that right now the biggest topic is all of this stuff going on. I understand. I get it. Everybody wants to know what everybody's opinions are, alright? I'm sorry, I'm a realist, okay? I know how this stuff works. I've been in MMO development and design. You know, I've been there. I understand how this stuff works. It's quite a process, and so I'm a little bit more optimistic, yes, but that's because I'm also a realist and I understand how this stuff works, and I've also had a lot of progress with the team, you know, directly, and you know, making forum posts that have seen actually the light of day. So, just I don't like when the community yells. That's why I left MMO development in the first place. Is I didn't like how the community. I don't know. I didn't like being told every single day only the bad things that you've done. Right? Nobody ever goes and says, "Oh, you did really well. You know, thanks, guys." Nobody says that. They do occasionally. People are nice, and the truth is that when everything is quiet, it's because everybody is enjoying everything you do. That's the truth of it. But back then, I was a little younger, and I didn't like the fact that the community is very, very rough. And I still don't like the fact that the gaming community, I'm sorry, the game development teams in general are extremely underpaid and undervalued. But it is that way because of how, you know, everybody's trying to get into game development because they think it's cool, and then it turns out you're extremely overworked, right? I don't like that. I don't like any of that stuff. So now I work mostly with indie companies, and I just kind of do my own thing as a creative director and help people out. But, you know, that's more fun to me, generally. I don't even get paid for that. It's fun for me. I enjoy making fun things for people. But it's stressful to be in actual game development, absolutely. It's extremely stressful. Imagine how it is for everybody. People volunteer for those CA positions. I can't imagine how they feel right now. But I guess they signed up for it. I don't know, man. That's scary, man. To deal with the community like that is not easy. Because I've been there. What am I doing? What am I doing here? Have I actually earned some stuff? Let's see. I have coin purses. I have to use them. I've actually gotten 8 synthesis blue crystals. That's not bad. But I do need a lot more crates, actually. I need to stock up on tempers again. So really I should be farming an Aegis, but since I still do want Synthesis Crystals stocked up for when I get an Aeronor, I may as well just do this now. I think this is more of a value to me in the long run. However, I should be leveling up mounts and pets, because I want to get all the achievements for those. Just for fun. So let's use these two. My Elk is level 54, and that's just level 54, so he's got a little bit more. And this robot is 51. Okay. I'll level these up while I'm just killing stuff anyways, and answering questions. Again, if there's anybody here who has any questions about the game... Whoa, what the hell is happening over there? Wow, that's Risk. I'm sorry that I just showed this on stream, but there's definitely going to be some PvP over that. Very risky, man. I hope that he's going there with his guild to help, to try to defend it. Because, geez, even I would fight over that. That could possibly be quite a big reward. God, the sheer laziness of just not bringing that overseas, but I hope it works out for them. Anyways. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, if you guys are new returning players, anybody here who's a lurker, who has any questions about the game, maybe you have any questions about specific mechanics, please feel free to ask. Don't feel like any question is a noob question. This game tends to hide everything that's everything about it on purpose. So anything you ask is probably not a noob question. Promise. There's none. So just ask what you guys have on it, alright? And I can do my best to help out with those questions. I played the game for a long time, I like helping people, I like the interaction with the community, so yeah, this is a good place to do it. And meanwhile, I'm going to kill these mobs, right? And try to get more mana. Also, I think Cody's calmed down a little bit, so I'm going to turn off Crisp. There we go. Slightly higher quality, hooray! Actually, no, not slightly, what am I talking about? Turning off crisps is like the best quality ever. Because I've got a really high quality mic. Oh, also... let me check really quickly if I advertised... Oh, I didn't advertise this, actually. Hold on, let me advertise the stream in the official Discord very quick. Hold up. Everybody relax. I have to make a very quick post. I have Content Creator there, so I may as well use that channel. Theory crafting, talking about mechanics, /arcade, etc. New / returning players, feel free to hop in and ask questions about the game. Cool. Post. Done. What is this? Cool. Is this the new? Wait, is this new Swiftblade class any good? Oh, right, because you're planning on trying out different things than a healer, right? Yeah, I love it. It's Swiftblade has been the calling that I needed to get away from Shadowplay, because I never really liked Shadowplay. I didn't like the burst of Shadowplay. I didn't like the reliance on stealth. And obviously, I played Executioner for years, and other classes that are very similar to it. So, getting rid of the burst in order to have the sustainability as a melee from Swiftblade has been so much fun. Not to mention that there has been so many more kill quest game. Nah, just killing for loot, but I can help you. No, I would... Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I'll help him out. Anyways, so he wants to get it done with before the reset, so I'll try to be fast with him. What? Oh, right, he's rolling. Oh, wait, no, there's no roll yet. I only need 30 more. Anyway, so Swiftblade is so much fun for sustainable damage. Like, you just non-stop are able to do stuff with Swiftblade, and it's really, really fun. There's so many more things coming to the garden that'll make it even stronger that I am so excited. Really, really excited for the capabilities that Swiftblade will have. Just so much. As an archer, this will be really easy. If he goes and brings a bunch of mobs together. There we go. I can actually AoE this stuff. Now, the thing is that Swiftblade actually works for other classes as well. It doesn't just work for melees. It works actually really, really well for ranged classes that I think people are only starting to figure out. But with the new stuff that's coming, it should be even better for that. Ranged is really good with it because of the defense penetration bonuses. I hope he doesn't accidentally... Oh god, he did. Oh. God damn it. Alright, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Let's go this way. So I don't know, I've enjoyed it. I don't know what else to tell you there. Look, it's really fun, alright? I really enjoy the non-stop kind of gameplay style. I can't wait for the garden, because it does that even better, right? The 2 skill points that I'm going to get from the garden, that all of us are going to get from the garden to be able to use on other active abilities, it's going to be great. The amount of resets that Swiftblade gets is even more. The amount of capabilities with combos that Swiftblade gets is insane. There are so many things coming out. Swiftblade should work a lot better in different kinds of builds as a utility skill set, even for mages too. Really, really happy with it. And is that guy also doing this quest? Wait, what? Where the hell did that board go? I'm not paying attention. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of this pet, and I'm gonna bring in my... Oh wait, loot. Do this. Bring in Flappy. Let him do a bunch of DPS as well. Go that way. But yeah, there's really good patch notes. Kind of patch notes. There's translated patch notes that Relin put out. That's on. You can find it pretty easily on Reddit. And it just goes over the patch notes that went out in Korea and Japan. So there's a lot of changes there to Swiftblade you can take a look at, but overall I'm having so much fun with it. Alright, I'm stuck in one question. Anybody else? Anything else? What else do we got? What other things do you have? Other questions you guys got? Anybody lurking in the background that needs help with anything, please feel free to ask. I don't think he's looting, but he is taking some damage. Let's see if I can gather up some mobs here with AoE. I may have to go and re-loot everything. It's okay though. Now I have a focus. Now I'm trying to get this guy's quest done. Done. Alright. Happy face. I mean, I would give him a thumbs up, but I can't, so I have to give him a happy face instead. Lucrative for this fresh start. You think people are ready for a new fresh start? Ready? I don't know. Yeah, I think so. People will find the ways to abuse it. They'll be ready. Everybody treats it like a race. I'm sure they're gonna find they are gonna find a way to abuse Garden and be able to get drops from there really quick. They're gonna figure it out, right? Whether it's one person tanking it somehow and kiting mobs to, I don't know, they'll figure it out. I'm kind of excited to see that, alright? I don't want to participate in it, but I'm actually kind of excited to see how creative the community gets in the Garden, especially with low gear score stuff. High gear score stuff, not as fun, not as interesting. Low gear score Garden, considering the mobs will probably one-shot people in an AoE, I can't wait to see what people do. I really do want to see it. Kind of excited about that. I think it'll have its issues, so I'm just kind of warning people ahead of time, you know, don't expect perfection here, right? This is mostly happening probably just because everybody keeps spamming that they want a fresh start, and it's still not going to be perfect, so relax, people. Don't take out your pitchforks. Just chill. Expect things to be not perfect. Lucrative. It's I think it's too soon to pull a large audience. People haven't forgotten why they quit yet. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. People always yell about fresh starts, and they love fresh starts because you know, the first couple months are really fun, and then they end up quitting anyways, right? It's very, very often. This won't be any different than that. We'll see a lot of people play it for a little while, and then the population will dive down. The population in previous servers that people came from will go back up, and then that server will just be kind of left there with whoever went there because they actually wanted to play for like years, you know, which could be a much smaller audience than people realize. I mean, I've always said, just go to the regular servers. Just play on these servers. It's fine. All right, catching up is so easy. It's actually not that hard. You can do it at your own pace and still be fine. You don't have to rush anything, right? Again, you know, the game isn't... It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So just chill and enjoy the path. Enjoy the journey. Get friends, play the game together, do stuff. Play support classes. People need those, but nobody ever wants to play them because they feel like, oh, I want to play DPS, but it's hard to do that at 4K gear score. Play support class, right? Help people out. I don't mean healing, I mean actual support, like true support, like a tank but in the back lines, right? It's like saying things about it forever. If people do that more often, it'd be more fun for everybody. I think people don't like old servers because they miss too much of the arc pass. I'm sure they'll bring some of that stuff back at some point. Like the Gargoyle Wings, for example, they're probably going to end up bringing it back maybe next year or something, but I don't... Yeah, like people would rather play in a new server than an old server. Absolutely, and that's the main problem, is that the fresh start servers will collect all the new people instead of new people just going to the regular servers like normal. But you're not wrong about that, totally. Absolutely. I don't think there's anything super crazy in the past arc passes other than the costume and the underpants. But those will probably come back at some point anyways, if people wanted to just wait around for free ones, or just build them yourself over time. It's not super crazy. It's I don't know, the game is about progression, it's not about winning in the short term. People treat it that way too much, which is unfortunate, but people like that too. So it's going to exist. Yeah. It's just fun how it is. Yeah, you think, McFluff, you're saying, I think it's more rewarding and fun to play the catch-up game. I do okay, so, I mean, I'm going to be different on this one. I am the kind of player who enjoys the underdog faction more than the faction who's winning everything. If you're winning everything, it's not fun. Alright, to me, when I'm winning games, I leave them instantly, because they are not fun anymore. There's no challenge, there's nothing to learn, because I've already done everything to win. So I never put myself in that situation in Arcade, because if I do, I'm just going to end up quitting. It's not fun. What's the point? What's the point in winning all the time? There's no goal. There's nothing to I'm not here to prove anything. No one is going to care about me in 5 years, alright? No one is going to remember my name. What am I here to prove? I'm here to have fun on my own terms, so for that, I have to be in the underdog faction. And, but not everybody's like that, and I get that too. People are looking for a quick, you know... People are looking to pretend like they won in an MMO, alright? Okay, you don't win or lose in MMOs. The only losers are the people who are not having fun anymore, or quit early because of that, you know? But I've always found ways to make the game fun for myself, and I play solo. You know, I don't really... Like, I have friends in guilds, and people ask for my help all the time, and you know, that's where my fun comes in too, but I'm self-sufficient, you know? I do whatever I want for myself. I'm not here to compete with anybody else, because that nobody cares at the end of the day. Nobody cares if you one-shot somebody. Nobody cares. Alright, just you. And if you think somebody else cares, okay. Now, some people are also in this game just to troll, right? And so them one-shotting somebody and you know, breaking TOS just to beat people on a temporary basis when they're just going to quit anyways, yeah, it happens all too often. I get that. Like, I understand. Alright, I'm not like that. So, a lot of people aren't, but we're not also the vocal ones either. So you don't, you know, you usually hear the people who are vocal and yell a lot about different things and yell constantly they want a fresh start, etc. So that's what ends up happening. But I wish the game was taken more seriously on a on a level of longevity. On my legacy character, I had never once server transfer. Whoa, somebody killed somebody here? Why? What are they fighting over? Alright, I'm not going to report it because I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just friendly anyways. I have no idea. What was I saying? What did I trail off on this time? I already forgot. What's up, people? What's happening? I forgot what I was talking about, so now it's your turn. What other questions do you guys have? What other things are you guys trying to learn? Not enough mana. Alright, hold on. Gotta kill this with auto attack and sit out while I get my mana back. And I am talking more. And I'm trying to drink my water to catch up. I have a lot of thoughts that I like to say, you know? I like to say things. I don't like to hear my own voice, although I have to, as I stream. But I have so many thoughts all the time that I try to get out there. So I know that's how I am. I'm just gonna sit here now and enjoy killing mobs. And then I'll probably just break off into some other tangent anyways, which is fine. I have to get art on these streams again. It's more fun being able to just banter about with somebody else about random things. Let me see if he's free. What's he up to? Oh, he's not even online. Is it not on? It's not on. Oh. That's a shame. Let me see if Hugin wants to talk about his game. We can do that. Hey, bud. Whatever. See, at least I'm gonna put the idea in his mind. Say, hey, you know, we can stream the game that you're making. We could do something with this. But yeah, if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to ask. If you guys are anybody in here is a new or returning player, or somebody who's just lurking in the background, you guys are trying to learn something about Arcade, or you just want to learn more about something specific, maybe you want to theory craft about some kind of a build or something that you want to do that's fun, please feel free to ask those questions. Even if you think they're extremely simple, ask them because it's the best way to learn about something. And at least I'm not going to be the one to laugh at you for asking something, alright? So if it's Arcade related, please use my time right now, because that's why I'm streaming, for your own gain. I have no problem with that. If you want to come here and stream snipe me, go for it. We'll duke it out. I don't care. I like that kind of stuff. I like community interaction. If anybody wants to do a dungeon, I guess we could do that on any servers, cross-server. Anybody want to queue for something, we can do that. That's right, Cody. Is just in the background. He wants to participate in the conversation. Alright, what have I got now? What time is it? Oh, I got 30 minutes until reset. It's not too bad. You're EU? Oh, isn't it late? I guess it's not too late, right? For the EU server in general. I guess people play the game at night, so what am I saying? Plus, all the content is at night right now. Ugh. Ugh, oh my god, dude. Yeah, I get the timer situation. I totally understand. Hey, Codebreaker. Which server am I on? This is Win server. It should be in the title, actually. Does it not say Win in the title? Hold on. Yeah. It says that. I think. I don't know if you guys see that. But I plan Win East. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking East in my head. I'm playing Win West. Nguyen. Oh, it's 1 a.m. for you. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like, a lot of the content right now with the timing is just pretty bad with, Oh, I have a trial. Wait. I want to kill this, and then loot this, and then go on a trial. Ah, it's too late. Alright. What was I saying? Yeah, I feel bad about the times. You know, those times are probably going to change in this next patch, because that's kind of what happened with all of the other versions, is that the timers for bosses all happen at the same time and only last an hour. Now that could probably vary massively for our version, so we'll have to see. But I don't know, we'll have to see what ends up happening, right? Hopefully it's a lot better. What server am I on again? This is Win server on North America. North American Win server. It should be a part of the stream information. The stream title should say it there as well. But I plan Win West. Nguyen. Not enough mana. I have to chill on my mana usage. This is the one problem with being strength build, is that you just don't have the mana for it. I have to get some spirit stuff again just to more quickly charge up my mana. Just switch to a different armor set and get mana back. Here, let me use the Monstrous Desire. Is the elk almost level 55? Halfway. A little over half. Alright, cool. Also, you didn't have to use points for that code breaker. It's mostly there just in case there's a bunch of people in chat. There's like a priority message queue, pretty much. But you didn't have to use Cody points just to ask that. Let's, if we ever get to the point where there's tons of people spamming the chat, at least I'll have something I can actually see off the side of my screen and mark as complete when somebody asks a question. Right? It's essentially a priority queue. Oh, Cody's having a good time. That's right. I don't know if you guys can hear him in the background making small noises as he's responding to me. He's staring at me and he's just responding to me. Right, Cody? That's right. Alright, I really need mana. Oh my god. Just for those that don't know, because they keep changing it, Monstrous Desire only gives you mana regen now. Which means that if you're actually using any ability, just like mana regen normally works, it just gives mana regen, this, which only works while not casting or while not actually using any abilities. So it only works, it can still work in combat if you're a healer. Mana regen will still work if you're not doing damage or something, I believe, something of that sort. But just keep in mind the Monstrous Desire, to make it actually work for you, you have to not be casting anything. A lot of people get confused on this. People who've played for years get confused on this all the time. And rightly so, because they've changed the Monstrous Desire like 3 different times on different occasions. So just keep that in mind. We can't pop it and then go back into battle, because there's, like, it wouldn't give you anything for that. Yep, that's right, Cody. Cody's excited. Resets in 20 minutes here. Wait, what? Oh, people are actually doing Thunderwing? I should have asked to join that. I have no idea. That would have been cool on stream. Mostly because there's no point not to stream it. It's just PvE content at this point. Oh well, maybe next time. What was that? Oh god, it's so hard to click on people. They're far away. It's a green. Oh, and I got the same person's trial again. Alright, let's get distracted by this. Again, if there's anybody just lurking in the background, you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Any Arcade-related stuff, I can do my best to help answer those questions. Arcade is really, really complicated, so don't be afraid to ask whatever it is. You know, even from something as simple as logging has a huge amount of complexity to what trees to plant, where to plant them, how often do you want to go back to them to check on them, what are you trying to get out of those trees, what are the ratios of actually getting that thing. There's a whole ton of stuff to it, just from one proficiency. So again, don't be afraid to ask questions. The other new example that I have, of course, is the fact that for 7 years this game existed and barely anybody in the population realized that you do more damage to people when you're on a higher elevation. It's insane that nobody caught this. It's the easiest test in the universe to do. The Koreans retested it themselves after I put it out there and went nuts because, again, the fact that nobody realizes was a thing is just insane. But my point is that such a simple mechanic exists in this game and nobody saw it. A very small population of people did, I'm sure, and they kept it hidden, but generally people didn't see it. And it's because of things like that that, you know, if you're new or a returning player, ask questions, try to learn stuff. There's probably a million more mechanics that the general community has not even figured out yet. Whether it's a big mechanic like that particular one, or just something small with some combos or something that we don't really see. Maybe something was mistranslated that, you know, it's just something that players aren't aware of. So have an open mind, try to learn from the game, you know, try to ask questions, try different builds that are, you know, different and not just what people tell you to play. And enjoy the game on your own level, please. It's more fun that way. But again, it's also merit to asking anything you guys want. So if there's any arcade-related stuff that you guys are trying to learn, or anything that you guys are trying to, you know, anything you guys are trying to accomplish with maybe a new build, or you want to theory craft something, please feel free to ask. And we'll have a conversation about that. I also should be looking at the new player channel, because I can direct people to the stream from there, and at least then we can have a better conversation about whatever people are asking. It's been a lot more active lately. The free trial this weekend obviously brings some people into the game for the first time, and it's a really confusing game, especially if you're not reading things. So I'll try to stream a little bit more often than normal during this time to help answer this kind of questions and to help people out a little bit. Like I said, I'm kind of watching the new player help channel in the official Arcade Discord. And it looks like, for the most part, people's questions are getting answered, so that's good. Not in quite as much detail as I like to put out. Yep. That's right, Cody. You good? You chilling back there? Are you participating in the stream? Alright. Oh, I have to do library, actually. Let me do that. I don't know if we have a healer. I don't think we really need a healer. It's better to have one, I guess. But we got 15 minutes until reset, so may as well get library out of the way. Oh, already up. I didn't think I did. Actually, wait, did I do it? No, because instances were down. Get the extra gold from that. So, like, there's another thing. Somebody was asking earlier about different ways to make money, but Yeah, running different dungeons like the library, like the Howling Abyss. All really good ways to make money. They take barely any labor, if any, for some of them. And it's a pretty stable income. It just requires time, and the cross-server instances help with that as well. Oh wait, we're queued up. Crap. Hold on. This is bad. Okay, I need to get out of combat. This could put me back into combat if it does damage, so I'm gonna wait. Alright, we're good. Everything good? Okay, good. Perfect. Alright, we'll do this very quickly. Should be fine. I'm going to turn on Crisp, because I hear things happening in the background. So my voice quality is low again, but that's not a big deal. Looks like we got a healer, so we're fine. Alrighty. Super quick run. Any mages? Okay. Oh, eye keeping aggro. Alright, there we go. That's more like it. This group I shouldn't be keeping aggro. Now with defense penetration. I'm always surprised at how much I keep aggro. Even with the defense penetration build against things like world bosses. Away, jump. Speaking jump. There we go. What else? Good stuff. No other drops. This person should just respawn. It's much faster to respawn than it is to res. And if you respawn, I think you get the bonus to stats. You don't get the bonus to stats if you, no! God damn it, people. Look. Oh. Oh wait, you got in. Okay, never mind. I don't know if that'll happen. I guess because we didn't start the boss yet?
Statue, awaken from your slumber!
No! Stay in the air! Oh well. I was hoping to stay in there just to avoid the, Oh crap, that could kill me. There we go. Lost dagger that way too. Wasn't paying attention. Four, 5. Good. Cool. I wonder if he waited for me to finish eating that. I don't know if he noticed or not. No. Oh my god. Ah. Completely thrown off. Oh! I'm good! No! Damn it. That was so close. I guess, it just didn't affect me because I used Tiger Strike or something. I don't know why it didn't affect me right away. For the wrong target. I don't know why it all. Does the Abyssal Guardian actually have like a provoke or something? Okay. Alright, Cody. I always end up targeting it by accident. Alright, no good drops, nothing crazy. Oh, we got an extra shard. It's not bad. Alright, we're out of here. I'm not going to do any more. Just wanted the shards for today. Hey, Art. I was looking for you earlier, but you weren't around. Does anybody know how to get the Not Today title? Yeah, that's, you were asleep, XD. It's okay. Yeah, Not Today is, weaponry at 50,000 proficiency. I don't even think that you need... I don't think you need to do anything anymore. I think you just get it once you get 50k. But you have to do it through regular... No, 50k. Yeah. You have to do it through, like, regular means. You can't use the buff that gives 50k proficiency to multiple stuff from the Blue Salt questline. I learned that the hard way. I had a bunch of stuff prepped up, and I was very curious if that Blue Salt Bond questline buff would actually work. But it didn't, unfortunately. Though I am now prepped for a whole bunch of different things getting to 50k. And because it's so easy to get the what are those called? The snowflakes that you need for proficiencies, I've got like 13 proficiencies right now. And I can get more. I mean, it's not that crazy. It's only 7. In fact, wait, how much do those cost? Snowflake. Snowflake. Oh. Well, when they become cheap again, I'll try to get more. Time to start doing castle dailies. It's 8 minutes. 8 minutes until reset. What do you mean time to start? It's time to prep for the next days. I mean the 250 labor daily? Castle daily, 250 labor. Don't know which one you mean. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true. You could definitely slowly work your way up that way. That's true. And turning in a pack in each zone. Got it. All those dailies, I mean, I've been avoiding a lot of the current dailies anyways, because I just don't want to do them. I don't really need to right now anyways. It's double rewards for all the Haram dailies, and I haven't been doing it. I lost interest in it. It's not fun. I'll do it later. I'll do it when the garden is up. It's not really a big deal right now. I'll lose out on the double stuff, but I'm not in any rush anyways. Oh right, I actually need to have my pets out so I can level them up. I think this dude's almost done. 68%. Alrighty.
Not enough mana.
wait and get some more mana then. We pretty much exhausted all the really important, interesting conversations that everybody's been talking about. I know people are gonna continue asking about different things that we've already gone over, which is fine. But I talked for like an hour non-stop. That's pretty good. It's a lot of information that I was able to put out. Hopefully you guys can't hear Cody in the background. I think Chris should be on right now. Yeah. So he's chilling, he's yelling. He wants attention. Cody. Yeah, he's there. He's yelling a lot more than you guys probably hear. Oh, by the way, Art, I did end up making an Arachnomancer build. I used it a couple times. It's alright right now. The problem is there's not enough synergy yet between Swiftblade and Witchcraft, which we'll get with the Garden. I hope. I hope we get all that stuff. I would assume that we do. Assuming that we do, this should be pretty cool. But it's tough to play this kind of build. While it does have a ridiculous amount of actual usefulness, there's so much to this build, especially with the Garden update. Dropping Battle Rage is tough because there's so much to Battle Rage that like you kind of rely on as a melee, over the years. To drop that for just Swiftblade alone is going to be really, really tough. So I'm excited to play around with it. Yeah, I think the point of my build with the Arachnomancer would be for raid versus raid. It would still be single target DPS, but with a lot of different ways to crowd control different people. Cody wants attention. He always wants attention. Are you eating right now, Sinister Berry? Because that's probably why. Yeah, that's exactly why. You're giggling. You'd suggest Innervate over Mudhand then? I can't use that combo yet in this build, and I don't have the 2 extra skill points. But right now that combo does, like, there's combos with Innervate and Swiftblade, and since I don't have that right now, I'm just messing around with other things. Where's that build? You mean Innervate is more useful than Mudhand in a raid? Mudhand AoE? AoE? Innervate's more useful? For me, yeah, maybe. It would be if I had Battle Rage, because then I get the extra trip duration, which is the big part. I can still cause trip, which is cool. Oh, I get it, yeah. I get it, yeah. If I'm trying to lock down a healer, that's definitely a big one. When I get the 2 extra skill points, I think I planned on Innervate and... No, it wasn't that, was it? No, it was. Yeah, Innervate, and it would have to be something from Swiftblade. So maybe like Dusk Shroud, or... I don't know, we'll see. Actually, I don't need something else from Swiftblade. Yes, I do, because I need to get the last thing, so I need 6 points. I need 7 points, technically, in the new system. Yeah, so it would be Innervate and Dusk Shroud, I think. Oh god, I really like Dusk Shroud. Wait, hold on. This is not 6 points in Swiftblade. What are you talking about? What is wrong with this? What's up with these numbers? Oh, the numbers are off because of this. Because of... Oh my god. Okay, so I don't need to put another skill point in Swiftblade with the new build. Alright, have fun. See you later, Art. I have to go run back to the castle. I don't need to put another point into Swiftblade. I could actually get something else out of Witchcraft. I can get 2 things out of Witchcraft. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm actually really excited about this build. But yeah, dropping Battle Rage is so tough. Because the reliance on it, the amount of combos it does, all the trips that it does, to do trips in a different way is going to be very interesting. And I'm excited, but it will require so much practice to to actually make good use of that kind of a build. I see this guy has got his pack. Are all the packs here taken? Let's see. This one's taken. They might be. I guess everybody's just chilling and doing their castle dailies first. Run up into the hills. See if there's something up there. Oh my gosh, let me do that. Nothing really? Oh, there we go. We're good. If I could actually move properly with my mount, it would be fine. Oh, there's plenty up here. Oh my god. What the? That was the weirdest lag. Oh, that's reset lag, isn't it? That was just awfully good timing on reset lag. That's all that was. It scared me. Alright, we're good. Let's go turn this thing in. Ah. Okay, cart. Alright. Okay. Nice. Calculated. Let's go. Again, if there's anybody just chilling in the background, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. This stream is mostly dedicated to answering questions from you guys and just chilling with chat. So, any new players, returning players, if you're just trying to learn more about mechanics, now is a great time to ask those kinds of things. And if you have anybody who you know is trying to learn about the game or is new to the game, you can tell them to come here, and I would be more than happy to help people out. A lot of people must have been here waiting. Done. Did it. And actually, we did more than just that. We did a lot more than just that. A little side objective of mine that I've wanted to do, because I enjoy toys so much, and different things you could do in the game. If anybody noticed in my inventory what I've been carrying this whole time, I'm gonna go ahead and craft a thing. To be fair, it was a fairly cheap thing, because I was able to get a lot of the stuff cheap. And now, I can craft... Oh, look at that animation. Here we go! Small Wyvern time! Woo! Did it! I did it, Chad! I have a small Wyvern! Hooray! Nice. It's just a little thing I wanted to get. Why not? I never had one before. Wanted to mess around a little bit. Now I have this thing. And it's level 50, so I have to still level it up, but I also have to name it. However, I tend to name mythical beings more seriously than I do my other mounts and vehicles. My other mounts and vehicles, if people notice, I usually name them after household items or furniture. So I have to take this one a little bit more seriously. I have to name this something else. So I'll have to think about that. That's a process. I'm not going to take any kind of chat suggestions like I do for other stuff with household items. Alright, Cody. That's cool. Or maybe I should just name him Cody. No, wait, I have another pet named Cody. Alright. Wait! What? Oh, wait, To the Air actually does something. What? I didn't think it would. That's a little strange. What is this again? Flame Breath. Every 3 minutes, I can do some siege damage. Awesome. Can only be used from the ground. Wait, so what does this do? What does To the Air do? Oh. Alright, so if there's no Wyvern around, I have another movement speed ability? Let me see how much movement that gives. No, it doesn't. I'm confused. Does it actually do something? Probably not, right? Let's see. Ooh, I can use this thing. No, it doesn't do anything, it just moves slightly. Alright, cool. I'm just happy that I have this at all. Now I have to go and get the legs for it. Actually, let me see if there's a raid here for the common stuff. I haven't actually noticed. Reset, reset. What do we got for resets here? There's only a couple of raids, actually, that are open at least. But we are kind of a little bit past reset, so some might have closed. Oh, there is a raid here. I don't know whose raid this is, though. $5 gold. There we go. Cody's having a great time. I'll let these guys go. I'm not going to make them wait for me, obviously. So once they're done, I will just finish my quest and just keep answering questions for you guys. Helping out anybody who hops into chat. God, it's a little bit laggy though, jeez. 8 frames? 20? 30? Okay. It's moving around quite a bit. But I need to get the armor for this thing. So now that I have this thing built, which I'm really happy about, the Wyvern is cool. I'm probably not going to be able to use the Wyvern for much longer if we lose all the castles, which is fine. I have that in mind. The whole point of the Wyvern is that I would have it long term. So eventually we'll get a castle again, and then I'll get to use the Wyvern. But it's something that I've always wanted, so I'm very happy about that. Got a small little baby Wyvern. One little guy. I haven't named you yet. I can give him a temporary name at least. I can give him let's see. Temporary name for a small bird. I guess it would have to be after Cody, wouldn't it? Alright, I'm gonna name Cody for now. Because Cody's yelling in the background. Maybe that'll make him happy. Okay, I get it, Cody. Alright, Cody. And then I'll try to find a better name later. But these guys should be almost done. I'll be able to get the legs for him after this quest is finished. Also, I'm pretty happy because I think this is a mistranslation where it just says that Ram knocks enemies back, but it actually also causes trip. This is a really good one. Yeah, it does cause trip still. It's a really good one actually because it's why I want the Typhoon Drake. The Typhoon Drake had a huge wingspan, and so what it would do is it would cause the trip from the Typhoon Drake's ability to do the same thing. It would be like you trip pretty much everyone that exists in the nearby area. And because of the wingspan on this guy, it's the same sort of deal. So an AoE trip on this is really, really cool and totally worth it, I think, personally, since we don't have the Typhoon Drake yet. And if we do get the Typhoon Drake, I don't need it anymore, because I already have this thing. But from what I understand, you can only summon it if you own a castle. And I don't know if that's actually true or not. I assume it is, because it says it all over the place. But that's fine. Again, it's just long-term goal of mine is finished. I'm happy. That's all I wanted. Alright, I'm gonna keep killing stuff because I think these guys are done. Looks like they're killing stuff over there, actually. Kind of. Because I came late, so I still have 30 to kill. Okay. Cody's having a good time. And not the in-game Cody, but the real one. Oh, you covered his cage too? And he's still... Yeah. Oh, these guys are doing their log stuff. I don't know. Man, I'm so happy I did this. So cool. I'll lose access to him possibly, but it's still great. Alright, we'll finish up this then, and we'll level up Cody while we're at it. No, I have to give him another name. I can't confuse him with Cody like that. What do I name this Wyvern? Sinisterberry, what do I name this Wyvern? She listening? No idea. Maybe she's thinking. Alright, I'm sure everybody's doing reset right now, so things are going to be quiet for a little bit. Everybody's in their reset raids.
Target is facing the wrong direction.
And I have to single target this. Oh, I have to take the penguin out. Kill him, penguin. Perfect. 24 more to go. That one's pretty easy solo. It should be quick. Actually, why don't I just AoE stuff, honestly? I know they all cause snare, but at this point, it's not a big deal. Look, some of them are even stuck in the ground.
Target is facing the wrong direction.
Where's Flappy? Flappy's killing something over there. It's trying to catch up to that one mob that keeps running away from it. It's trying to kite him. This one's just stuck in a rock. Oh, I did it. Good job, Flappy. Nice. How are we doing in XP for Cody? Oh my god, he's already almost 51. Nice. Cool. This is cool. I'm so happy about this. I do wonder if you can use it in instantly, though. I want to go into a Halsey with it and see if I can summon this guy. Because if I can, then that is weird. Because if you need a castle, but in instances you're technically not even on the same faction anymore, I don't know. We'll see how this works. That's kind of like, I mostly just want to test a whole bunch of stuff with the Wyvern and see how it acts and how it feels and how mechanics work around it. Finally, I get the chance to. There's a whole bunch. Oh, of course. Wasn't paying attention. Wasn't looking at the screen. Alright, 10 more. Nearly done. And I can get this guy some legs. I need to go back to the... back to my bungalow to get the Luna Frost for the feet, though, as well. And actually, I probably should just socket it with actual, Luna Gems, too, huh? They're not that expensive. I think they're Gale, right? Gale Glow? Okay. Why are they 170? What's going on? It used to be like 120. Alright. I'll wait. I don't want to use my honor for that, so I'll just wait. Get it for gold. It's not something that I'm rushing for at the moment. Actually, I do wonder what kinds of armor this guy can use in the first place. Like, can you use a saddle, for example, like a regular one? Probably not, right? Usually that's not the case when it comes to these legendary beasts. Like, you can't just put a saddle on a red dragon. Oh my god, Cody's yelling so much in the background. He's excited for some reason. there's another group doing this. But I only need 8 more. I don't want to join and then quit instantly. I feel bad about that. I shouldn't feel bad about that, but I don't really care. Plus, I want to level up this bird, which I need to rename. I can't call him Cody. Let's rename him for now to... gosh, what's a house? Okay, this I can actually get. So, chat, if you guys are paying attention, if you guys aren't doing dailies, I need a name of a household item or furniture, and I'll give that temporarily to the small wyvern until I can come up with an actual serious name for him. So, first thing comes to your mind. Could be anything. For example, my siege tank's name is Table. These guys are just killing stuff. Maybe they will invite me. But I only need 3 more kills. Wait, maybe they can help me. I'm just gonna go opposite from them, because I'll be able to pick up stuff that way. Like this guy. Oh god, it's so laggy. I'm very surprised that in all this time, though, the Vyravas have not spawned. Do people even do the Vyravas anymore? Stove. Done. Calling him Stove. It's temporary, it's not like the other name suggestions. But I like it. Stove it is. Oh, they left this one for me. It's the last one I needed, and nobody even aggroed it. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'm sure that was intentional. Alright, done. Let's go make him some legs. I'm still very confused by To the Air. Because, like, it's still an ability that you can actually use, and it just moves you forward, but without any speed boost. Oh, wait a minute, there could be a speed boost. They just might not be telling me. Hold on. No, there is no speed boost. It's just like a... It's like a nothing. Okay, that's good to know. 10 seconds I could do nothing. Every 10 seconds. I wonder if it retains speed. So if I do ram, or no, if I do run, let me see something. This is going to be a tough test. So okay, I'd have to do run, and then on the last second I need to use To the Air, because that could maybe keep the same movement speed of plus 50% for an additional 3 seconds or something. We're going to try that. Okay. We got movement speed bonuses. Okay, in the last second, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then use this. Oh, it works! Holy crap! Okay. I think that actually works. You still retain the movement speed. So, technically, I could do some pretty cool things with To the Air. Just to keep higher movement speed for extra amounts of time. Now, Ram has a minute cooldown, so unfortunately it's still not going to be that fast, this mount, overall. Can I blow something up here with Flame Breath? No? Alright, let's go turn in this quest. We'll get this guy the leggings, or the leg stuff. Hello, people. Go this way. Alrighty. Come here, Stove. Alright, 100 Lord's Pence or Territory Pence. We'll make the Lord coin that we need. We'll use the Lord coin to... Okay, Cody. Oh man. Cody's going nuts. Alright, pet... what is it? This one? No, pet gear. We need leg guards. The saddle is good too, for the 4% movement speed. For now, leg guards are the best. With 11%. And we need to also give it extra stuff. So we're going to make a portal over to the bungalow. Bungalow, bungalow, bungalow. Do I need to do anything else here? I don't think so, right? I think I did everything here. Cody's yelling to the birds that are outside since we have the window open, and he is just going nuts. I know, he's going nuts. He's just crying. He's just talking to the birds outside. Let's see. Okay, I need to find movement speed bonus. I have one more left. Perfect. And I don't want to push the refresh button because of the stuff at the bottom being there on purpose. Oh wait, does this have any... Oh, it doesn't have any Luna Gems. That's a bummer. Alright, so I can't actually slot this with any Luna Gem related stuff. That's okay. The other thing is that I need to put this on my quick bar. Which do I want to replace? Actually don't know what I want to replace. I use all of these. Okay, I guess I can get rid of a porcupine. So I can always summon that manually if I need it. Alright. Let's go here. Oh, I bet I could do something else with him. Hold on. God, Cody. Alright. So he's swimming, he's doing a swimming thing. A dash isn't that great. But does to the air work here? Oh, it does! Oh my god! That's not that great. But it's not nothing. So, I mean, the water doesn't reduce the movement speed of to the air. So to be fair, every 10 seconds I could use him. Which means... that's not as good as the other mounts that I use for getting around in the water. For example, this one is really good for getting around in the water. With essentially 2 teleports that are just really powerful. Alright. Let's equip this guy. Summoning requires larger space. I can't even summon him here. It's too big. I can't summon him anywhere. There we go. Oh, cool. It actually has it actually shows them on his feet. Okay. Hey, what's his movement speed now? 13.3. Cool. Alright, let's go. So yeah, I have to use to the air at the very last second of any movement speed ability. I wonder if I could use it during RAM. That would be huge if I could on the last second of RAM. Let's see. No, I can't. Damn. That's a bummer. Alright. That's okay, though. I can deal with that. It's mostly then for the run, to extend it for a little bit. I just have to watch the buffs on it very closely. Oh, it looks like he actually gains a buff for a second, too. Let's see. He gains a to the air buff. And I want to know what that does. I'm gonna hover over here. I didn't gain it that time. It's so quick. Hold on. It's so quick, though. It only appeared when I had run on last time. Let's see. Maybe if I have run on. I just want to see what the description says. So it'll be here. No, I don't know. I don't get it. It's so, like, it blinks. It's instant. He gains the buff to the air and then he loses it instantly. I'm sure that it's something to do with, you know, needing a Wyvern around and then, Oh, it was there for, like, a split second. Catching this is going to be ridiculous. But yeah, I'm sure it just has something to do with the Wyvern. But I want to see what it says because I'm curious. I don't know why I'm not catching it, though. It takes actually some mana to do that. 500. Okay, I'll do it later. Maybe it's because of the stream, the game is lagging slightly. When I'm at 60 frames, I'll probably be able to see what it is pretty quickly. let's go. Oh my god, it's right there. Every time. I have to hover over it. I'll figure it out. Oh. Thanks. I was just gonna... Okay. No, it's all good. Appreciate it. Alright. Now I have food. I was actually just going to hop off the... Wait, what? Can I not finish these quests because I'm on this? I was just going to hop off the stream to eat, actually. We're going to end it soon. I still will, I think. I've been on for a while. I'll try to be on during the weekends to, at different times to help answer different people's questions from different time zones. I think there's definitely a few things from the stream that I need to highlight and put as a standalone clip on YouTube. Some of them, like some of the good questions right at the beginning, were like 20-minute long answers, so I have to actually see if it's worth it, because nobody's gonna sit around for 20 minutes. I've noticed. I put out 2-minute video. No, I put out 5-minute videos about like all those things that I talked about on Reddit. But I get it. I put all the information at the front. So maybe this is a bad example, but even in those videos, people only stayed for about a minute or two on average. And again, I did put up everything right at the beginning. People could just read it on their own. So, and it was done on purpose, so maybe not the best metric to go by. But in general, most people don't really sit through most of the videos that people put out there. Even some of the best content creators on YouTube. You will notice that, like, on average, it's only like 20 to 40% of videos are actually watched, which is really weird. Because the big fans will obviously watch the whole thing anyway, so that's good. Alright, put all this stuff away. Honor gems. Yeah, I'll probably just end it here. Things have seemed to have slowed down a little bit, probably because of reset stuff. I'm sure if I stream for another couple of hours, once the reset stuff was done, there would be a lot more questions. So maybe tomorrow I'll try to stream after reset. I'll see. Tomorrow I have some plans, so maybe not. Maybe that'll be Sunday. See how I can kind of spread out the schedule. But for now, I'm going to be done. I'm going to just continue doing dailies and chill, and I'm going to eat food that was just placed very nicely in front of me, even though I was going to go do that myself. So I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you later. See you later, McFlaffy. I'll see everybody else. If you guys like the content, go ahead and follow. You'll know when I go live. I don't have any strict schedule. I announce on like Twitter when I go live, and also in the Arcade Research and Development Discord, which you can find down in the description of this channel. So, you know, pretty much following me is just a good way to know when I go live. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.